Okay, well, hello everybody. I'm very exhausted after doing that last video. That was a lot of dancing and moving around, a lot of improvisational footwork. I could be a dancer. I realize that. Um, am I human or am I... No, don't worry, I won't go there. But at any rate, so the Earth and earthquakes, whatever. The Earth is a thing too, right? And sometimes it needs to stretch, and it's got discs like us, like in my. It's like fucking hell. Oh, whoa, shit! Sorry, I just killed 200,000 people. I just need to stretch, man. I'm the Earth. You live on me. Go fuck yourself. Uh, wait. We're parasites living on the Earth, and yet somehow it's also just it's all just so devastating. You know, uh, wow, these tragic events. No, the Earth just whatever had to stretch a little bit. It was had to move them discs around a little bit. People died. Okay, great. That's not what I wanted to talk about. Um, what I want to talk about is that from the Arlington Observatory, there is one. Like in space, there's like an observatory where you look through a telescope and then you see into space and shit, which is really cool. I love space. But if you happen to be living in Arlington and live on a hill, you can actually focus your telescope on downtown Arlington, which is what I do. That's why I call it the Arlington Observatory. Well, it's just at my place. It's scientific research. But I gotta tell you, man, oh man, there was. I remember a couple of years ago, I used to own like a bookstore, or whatever, and there was this couple, right? They were married, and it was a man who was just totally emotionally, completely immersed in his wife, who was crazy, and believe me, she was crazy, and she was in a wheelchair, and he would wheel her around in a wheelchair, and that was like his purpose. You know what I mean? That was his purpose. The porpoise said, "What's my purpose?" Uh, no, that was his purpose, and that's what he did. He took care of her. You know what I mean? All of us can relate to this in a certain way, like that feeling and need to take care of somebody. I mean, I've got it totally. I'm sure you do too, because well, you're all people, right? And you're not crazy. I hope, uh, or maybe I hope you are. It'd make me feel better about myself. But at any rate, this caring. And then she either she died or she committed a crime and went to Western State, and now she's in a facility. I mean, I don't know really the details of the story. All I know is that now I see this man who used to be carting around his lover, his wife, in a wheelchair and existing for her now. At the Arlington Observatory, you can look through the telescope and find him. Telescope, sorry, that was telescope, and find him on the streets of Arlington. There's no wife now; she's gone now. So now he's suddenly tried to make himself both his wife and him at the same time. That's what happens when you lose somebody who's very important to you. You try to become them to in order to sort of like fill that missing fucking gap. And now you can find this guy in his wife's wheelchair. She's gone. So now he's in the chair, wheeling himself around. Just off in fucking outer space, man. He's wheeling himself around, just symmetry of thought or something. I mean, he's trying to become his wife. He's trying to be him at the same time. He's his wife, and he's also wheeling her at the same time. He's also become crazy and just taking care of the crazy at the same time. In his brain, it all works out. If you get inside his brain, I'm sure it'd probably make pretty good sense. However, if you're an observer from the Arlington Observatory, you'd just be like, what the fuck is that douchebag doing wheeling himself around in a wheelchair? Well, you need a bit of backstory. People, just don't be too quick to condemn. That's very funny coming from me, I know. But, I mean, it's a horrible story. I mean, I look at this guy and I'm just like, fucking hell. God, man, pick the pieces up. Pick up your pieces. But I mean, his pieces were like in pieces 20 years ago. You can't just tell a guy who's broke, hey man, pick it up. What the fuck is wrong with you? You can't do it once a guy's broke. And so what do? Well, you just let him keep wheeling around in his wheelchair that used to belong to his wife, and now he's trying to be his wife, his crazy wife, and him at the same time, and just let him do his thing. You know, he's not hurting anybody. Let him go on living in his mind the fiction that he thinks is real. What's wrong with that? I think it's fine. Anyways, fuck. I wish I had some. Did you guys really like that Haitian music, though? That was authentic Haitian music by one of the great Haitian artists. Brilliant stuff. I need some of that right now. I feel like the world is closing in. It's getting dark. Well, it is getting dark. That's what. Yeah. But at any rate, if you see a man in a wheelchair rolling around Arlington, and he looks a little bit not well, kind of confused, kind of out there, don't say anything. Just be like, "You're with her." I know. I know you are. It's cool. All right. Oh, the end. What?